Okay, so little backstory here. I know next to nothing about Dreamcast Guy, other than the fact that Griffin Gaming responds to him sometimes. I know he's a commentator, I know he talks about whatever's trending in gaming, and I know he's had some really bad takes in the past. But this video popped up in my recommended the other day, and the title alone bothered me. Gamers say Elden Ring is broken on PC, angry reviews on Steam. And look at this thumbnail too, like what are you saying here? And then looking at the like to dislike ratio, bet you thought that was hidden, huh? For those that are out of the loop, Elden Ring launched with some abysmal performance on PC, to the point that yes, I would say it is broken. Not catastrophically so, but yes, the game is still, I would say, broken on PC. It's capped at 60 frames, and it seems that even people with powerful rigs on low settings are experiencing performance issues. This port was just really bad, despite the game being apparently really, really good. And notice how I said apparently there, because I haven't played it yet, because I heard how bad the port was, so I'm waiting. At the time of this video's recording, Elden Ring has a 79% approval rating on Steam, with many of the main criticisms being about the performance. Just about every Steam review says the game itself is phenomenal when working properly, but the performance issues can be really bad. The Steam reviews are very consistent here, so right off the bat, I'm suspicious of Dreamcast Guy's portrayal of things. But let's just stop stalling and get into the video, shall we?
Every single game that's released these days has some sort of controversy about it. Either people are offended by the story or they think the difficulty is too hard. But a lot of times, I'm very interested in the complaints of gamers.
So you can misinterpret them, right? I mean, less than 2 weeks ago, you made this gem about the reception to the Street Fighter 6 reveal. Bet you thought that ratio was hidden, huh? I don't know much about you, Dreamcast Guy, but I know you have a history of misinterpreting the opinions of the masses, so it's a little weird that you start the video like this. Also, fun fact, the footage in the background of this video is me high as shit going through Dark Souls for the first time. I actually never played the first Dark Souls, so I figured there was no better time to give it a go. And it was my birthday yesterday, so I got high as fuck before I started. Everyone say happy birthday, Joe, in the comments. Or your band.
Because a lot of times, what the masses think about a particular project, a lot of times it shines lights on things I didn't notice.
Again, weird phrasing there. The things the masses take note of shines light on things I didn't notice. If the masses are consistently showing you things that you didn't notice, you might not be a good critic.
Now, I have already reviewed Elden Ring, and to be honest, I completely loved it. I've been playing it about 12 hours every single day for the last couple days, and I can't seem to get enough. It's just so gorgeous and creepy and brutal at times.
And again, I haven't played Elden Ring yet, so take my opinions with a grain of salt about the game itself. I'm going to try and refrain from talking about the game itself, because obviously that would be unfair of me to say anything. But the performance I will happily talk about, because, mediocre PC ports are mediocre PC ports, and the criticisms of the masses are valid, even if you don't like them.
I've already done a review of it, which shockingly is up to like 80,000 views in the first couple hours. Thanks for all the support on that.
And at the time that I'm recording my video, you're up to 123,000 views on your review. Congratulations. Go get a Twix. You earned it.
But today, we're going to be talking about the negative aspect, which apparently is the fact that it's having some very serious problems on the PlayStation 5, and it seems to be almost broken on some people's PCs.
Why'd you say apparently there? Also, it has issues on PS5 and PC, but we're only talking about PC in this video? This video just starts really weird.
What's up, gamers? Dreamcast Guy here. Now,
why did you say what's up, gamers, a minute into your video? Oh my god, stop doing this.
I feel like part of the conversation around this is people sort of just kind of marveling at, apparently it's one of the best reviewed games in modern history.
Yeah, the game sounds like it's really, really good. It seems like it's really, really good, and people are really, really enjoying it. That kind of makes the technical aspects all the more heartbreaking. It makes them all the more noticeable. When the game is as good and as praised as it is, things like frame rate capped at 60 in 2022, yeah, these things are there's gonna be a really big spotlight on this shit.
Whenever you just release an article like this, whenever something gets such an amazing Metacritic, people are gonna start to find every single problem with it.
Why are you talking about this article? When you release an article like this, I don't even know what article this is. I've never seen this article. Are you really about to try and attribute the backlash of the PC port to this article? I really hope you're not about to do that.
And the problems with this are very strange. You see, Already people are doing technical analysis of the different versions of Elden Ring. Now,
Yeah, this isn't weird. This is for every game that comes out. It's not weird for technical breakdowns to be on, like, what? There's literally nothing weird about this.
this is with the day one patch. This is not some pre-release build of it. Now, comparing it to the PS5 to the Xbox Series X, it does seem like the Xbox Series X version is slightly smoother. That's what I've been playing on, and to be honest, I've been having almost no problems. I have a little bit of frame dips. I'd say every 4 or 5 hours, I'll have some choppy frame rate for about 5 seconds. Like, for the most part, the game for me has been an absolute dream.
And I mean, I could get cynical here and say it's kind of fucking stupid that in 2022 a next gen console, allegedly the strongest next gen console, can't even lock a game at 60 FPS. I don't think there's any gameplay elements tied to the 60 FPS frame rate or something or anything like that, which is good. But if that's the case, if the physics aren't tied to 60, if the gameplay isn't tied to the 60 FPS frame rate, why is there a 60 FPS cap?
But here's the strange part that I feel like started to spark people's attention. If you have a choice to play this on the PlayStation 4 or the PlayStation 5, the PS4 version actually has a more stable frame rates.
And again, I could get cynical here and ask why the PS5 version is not the recommended version, but...
The PS4 version running on backwards compatibility is a better version than the straight up PlayStation 5 version.
That's really not that weird. A game built for weaker hardware being run on stronger hardware running smoothly, that's not that weird. Like, it's bullshit that the next gen version isn't running good on the next gen console, but the previous gen version running good on stronger hardware, that's not weird.
Now, for a lot of reasons, this is incredibly weird, but I wanted to start to try and investigate, because honestly, I'm not sure I've ever heard of a circumstance where the older version runs better.
No, this oh my god, this isn't weird. This isn't weird. A game built for weaker hardware being run on stronger hardware is gonna iron out a lot of the performance issues that would be on the weaker hardware because you're on stronger hardware. This is not weird. The problem is that the next gen version is not giving you the next gen experience enough to justify buying the next gen version over the previous gen version. You get that? The next gen version of the game has issues that the previous gen version doesn't have while running on the next gen hardware. That is the problem. This is not difficult to understand. This isn't even really that uncommon when you look at cross-gen AAA games.
And then people started to tell me that the game straight up is not working for certain gamers on PC, so I went over here and actually noticed that, surprisingly, it's being downvote bombed to a pretty heavy degree. Now,
note the use of the phrase downvote bomb here. I made a video a while back. I'll put a link in the description. I'll put a screenshot up here if you want to see it. I made a video a few years ago responding to, I think it was GameSpot or something. It was some big outlet talking about review bombing and just completely misunderstanding what review bombing and dislike bombing is. Bombing implies that it's just people en masse just, I hate this, it sucks, I hate this. But the problem is that doesn't really apply to Steam. Because on Steam, you have to buy the game and play it before you can leave a rating. So if someone is buying the game, playing it, and then leaving a dislike, if a lot of people are doing it, it's not getting dislike bombed, it's just getting bad reviews. And this may sound like semantics, but it's really not. You're phrasing this in a certain way because it highlights how much you don't understand this. Oh, Elden Ring is getting dislike. It's just getting dislike bombed. No, it's being criticized. There's a difference.
Currently, this is just, it says mixed. Think about the fact that a lot of times whenever I see people giving a bunch of negative reviews to a game on a website like Metacritic, that doesn't have the same weight.
And let's just take a look at the negative reviews right behind you. Not recommended. Unfortunate, I have to give everyone a big warning before buying the game. The game is not well optimized, at least for the PC. And while the frame rate in enclosed areas is very stable, it will constantly stutter in open areas, from which the game will have many, since as the trailers show, you will even be able to ride on this big world map, especially when Sorry. It's I'm looking at the background of his video, so it's blurry. Especially when a boss makes a special move. Since Elden Ring is a game where you have to dodge/react to the opponent's attacks in under a second, this makes boss fights frustrating beyond belief and honestly kind of unplayable, at least in my eyes. The number 1 most helpful review. And if you look in the bottom right hand of the screen, we have game is great, runs like shit though, no ultra wide support, and 60 FPS. I can't see because the icon, I think it says 60 FPS cap in 2022, typical FromSoft PC port. And that's with 3.5 hours of playtime. These sound like very, very fair reviews.
In order to actually review a game, to leave feedback on Steam, these are all people who purchased the game. These are not trolls, these are not bots. These are actual people who have spent $60. So
exactly. So the game is not getting dislike bombed. It's just getting some bad reviews.
Their opinion, their complaints have a lot more weight. Now, what's interesting is that everybody's saying the game is not well optimized.
Well, again, with your fucking phrasing, these people have very legitimate concerns, and it's getting some bad reviews. And then immediately, everyone is saying the game is broken. Like, do you not do cuts? Do you not do retakes? Do you not do any kind of scripting? Like, the tone of your own phrasing contradicts itself constantly. It's no wonder that your video is getting getting dislike bombed.
Basically, if you're in enclosed areas, it runs very well, but the open areas, it constantly stutters. This is so interesting because everyone's saying that, struggling to maintain a solid 60 FPS even at 1080p on a 3080.
Exactly.
Massive stuttering and drops to the mid-20s. The game crashed 4 times within 2 hours.
Exactly. This is unacceptable for a 2022 game. 4 crashes in 2 hours is unacceptable anytime, but drops down to the mid-20s at 1080p on a 3080 in 2022. Go fuck yourself. That is broken.
On top of that, the anti-cheat prevents any unofficial mods or fixes. Now, that right there is where I want to pause just for 1 second, because honestly, that is definitely the biggest red flag for 2 separate reasons.
And I can't wait to hear this. I'm only 3 minutes and 46 seconds into this video, and I've been recording for almost 20 minutes. This is a classic Joe from Seattle video. Damn. I don't remember the last time I was this nitpicky.
A lot of people who play on PC have spent thousands and thousands of dollars on their rig.
Thanks for perpetuating that myth. Most PC gamers are not spending thousands of dollars on their rig.
Obviously, they want to have the most premium of experiences.
Or just a baseline not 20 FPS experience.
I definitely know that millions of us enjoy just the fact that when it comes to console gaming, you just pick up the controller and play. But PC gaming, it's meant to be that premium experience.
Oh my God. You literally said earlier in the video that the PS5 version is not doing well, and now you're talking shit about how the consoles, you just pick it up and play. By your own admission, no you don't. And second of all, PC gamers are used to the premium experience. Again, most PC gamers are not spending thousands of dollars on their rig. The most popular games on this platform are not technically demanding to run. Have you wondered why that is? But also, on top of all that, let's say in your world this is right. Let's say in your world is the correct one, where all PC gamers spend thousands of dollars on their rig, and PC gaming is where you go for premium, top-notch gaming experience. Let's say your world is correct here. That makes the Elden Ring situation even worse.
You're paying more money to get more out of it. More frames, more graphics, more resolution, and a lot of times more features.
More graphics. I love getting more graphics.
Which is the other half of this that's very interesting to consider. In the past, From Software has released some very broken versions of their games.
Are you saying their games are broken, or are gamers saying the game is broken?
Previous games actually needed to be fixed by fans for years to get to a repaired state. And
yes, because despite From Software having really, really great quality gameplay output, story output, whoever's doing their PC ports needs a fucking Snickers. Because wow, how do you get it wrong this many times?
The way that they would do this is via mods, third-party software, basically a way of trying to make the game run and play better. Fans would have to go into the code and repair it.
Well, that and all the other things you can do with mods.
And because of this new anti-cheat system they're putting into the Steam version, you can't fix your own game. Even if you happen to be a very talented developer and you think, well, I bet I could root around in here and get this a little bit more stable, you can't, because it will deactivate your game.
His video is from February 25th. I'm recording mine on March 2nd. And as of the recording of my video, you can mod the performance of Elden Ring. Just throwing that out there. The mods are coming out for Elden Ring now. I don't know if something changed with the anti-cheat, or I don't know what changed behind the scenes, but all I know is there are mods for Elden Ring now.
Now, going back to these reviews here, I just find it great that the amount of people right here just saying it just lacks features, game is a waste of $60, and he says that after playing 5 hours.
Why'd you point out that he played it for 5 hours? 5 hours is more than enough time to judge a game, I would say, at least. And going back to what you said about how, he says they're missing features. Yes, yes, the PC version is missing features. It's missing basic performance features that you would expect from a AAA 2022 PC game. No ultra-wide support, no frame rates higher than 60. Yes, the game is missing very basic things on PC.
Stuttering like crazy no matter what settings you're at. Never would I ever have expected to give Elden Ring a downvote based on the game's performance. I'm hardly an FPS snob, but I can live with the lack of ultra screen support.
Ultra widescreen. Why'd you say ultra screen? It's not a shitty Transformers villain. It's a setting. Ultra widescreen. Why'd you say ultra screen?
The thing that makes this the whole dilemma is that the poor performance on PC. It's frustrating because this is sad to think they're releasing their magnum opus and the game just stutters and slows down constantly.
Yeah, completely fair criticism. Apparently this is From Software's big magnum opus, which is a little odd to say because usually studios aren't the ones that decide what their magnum opus is, but neither here nor there. This is completely valid criticism.
Now, every single person is just basically complaining about the fact that it is just having so many problems.
Every single person is complaining about performance as you're scrolling by thumbs up after thumbs up after thumbs up. And again, here's my footage. Wednesday, March 2nd, these are all the top reviews on Steam. Thumbs up after thumbs up after thumbs up. But you just said, but no, everyone is complaining about it. Everyone's complaining. Bro, stop it. Stop being so fucking desperate for videos. You misinterpret basic things.
This is a good game. It is a very, very fun game. It is a very savage game at times.
Can you not say savage? I really thought we were done with savage in 2016.
But on certain platforms, you're definitely getting a negative experience.
Like the PS5? By your own admission, the PS5, even though we're only talking about the Steam version here. If this were a different Joe from Seattle video, this is where I would call you a console peasant.
And there's also the problem, apparently, with save file corruption. Now,
apparently there's save file corruption. You could just look and see if there is. Why do you keep saying apparently? If it exists, it's not apparently. When you say apparently, you're implying that there's some kind of ambiguity. There's no ambiguity. There is save file corruption for a good chunk of people.
Before we actually look at any other statements from fans, I do want to just say that thankfully, as of about 30 minutes before I set up this camera, the developers at From Software have released a statement. They're now actually saying, hey, we didn't realize this. We want to actually fix this.
And good on them. It's kind of bullshit that they're like, oh, we didn't expect. Yes, you did. You knew this was here. You knew these issues were here, but you didn't want to miss a release date to fix these things. So you put it out and you're going to fix it later. This is just how the game industry works now. It's fucking stupid, but fucking whatever.
Thank you so much for playing Elden Ring. We are currently experiencing some issues that are preventing the game from playing properly under some conditions. We apologize.
Wait, so did they say they didn't know about the issues? Because nothing in this statement says they didn't know about it. Was that Dreamcast guy saying they didn't know about it, or was that them saying they didn't know about it?
Main items that we're trying to fix. Basically, anti-cheat failing to launch. Basically, the game, for some people, since the anti-cheat is not working, the game won't work. So straight up, if it won't boot, your game, even if you spent $60, will not activate.
Gamers say Elden Ring is broken on PC. No, Dreamcast guy just agreed the game is broken on PC.
Now, here's what's interesting. They talk about the fact that they're trying to fix the frame rate more. They basically say, update all of your graphics drivers and your graphics card. Maybe that will fix it. But it sounds like they're trying to optimize it more. Now, here's the one that, honestly, I hadn't even heard people talking about. But apparently, some people are having an issue on the PlayStation 5 where your game isn't saving.
Why did you title this video the way you did? Like, really all you've done is just dismiss PC gamers' opinions and then act befuddled about like console, like I don't know if and then like have this weird confused tone about console problems. Like, why did you make this? Like, really, what was the point?
Now, as you're exploring an Elden Ring, which is a very, very massive game, whenever you stop and rest, a lot of times it'll automatically save. It basically puts your save file up in the cloud or whatever, right? Well, in this version, apparently what's happening is that the game will randomly shut off. It can save data, may not be saved correctly. We're aware that this can cause issues. You're working on a patch to correct it, but until the patch is released, please save your game manually by exiting the game regularly. Game data will be saved correctly if you fully quit the game by opening the system menu, go into options, and selecting quit game. We're also working on other bug fixes and performance improvements. Now, to me, I'm kind of glad that they're just acknowledging it. I feel like so many developers now try and just put their fingers in their ears and go, la, 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 la.
Oh, so that's where the screenshot of your thumbnail came from. Am I the only one that's just kind of irked by that? Like, take a look at this thumbnail, and then just think about where that screenshot of him with his fingers in his ears came from. I can't be the only one who's just kind of irked by this. Your attitude is so fucking obnoxious.
So at least they're just coming out and saying, yes, we're working on it. Yes, we want to fix it. Yes, we hear you immediately. Like, here's what's actually kind of baffling to think. Technically, this game came out 8 hours ago. Like, man, it's really baffling to think about because I've been playing the game for a while, but...
Game came out 8 hours ago, but they have a comprehensive list of all the things that are broken and that they're working on. It's almost like they knew about the problems but shipped the game anyways. Although, knowing Bandai Namco, I blame them more than From Software.
This released 8 hours ago, and they already have an official statement prepared. I mean, yeah, it's full of typos and stuff, but hey, you know what? I'll take it. At least it shows the developers are reading Twitter. And a lot of the tweets I see about this game are basically saying the game is good, but man, is it a bare bones port. It's got capped 60 frames a second.
It sounded like he said it has kecks. Remember that meme?
Stuttering issues most likely from software messed up DirectX 12. I also see this interesting pushback. The more people talk about it being the best game ever, like I've noticed these like dedicated Elden Ring haters that are popping up.
Yes, oh my god, it's almost like a game with glaring problems getting really, really good reviews from professional critics. It's almost like people are gonna push back. If a game is getting fucking perfect scores from critics, but the critics are not really putting any attention to the problems that it has, yeah, this has happened plenty of times. Game is getting, we saw this with like Last of Us 2. Game was getting super amazing review, perfect reviews, when in reality, a lot of people didn't like it. So the people who didn't like it felt the need to get louder. Because not only did it feel like their criticisms were falling on deaf ears, but it also prevents the very real and very common possibility that somebody would just look at the review scores, say, oh, it's good, and then buy it, when the critics weren't talking about the problems.
Now, honestly, I got no problem. Do whatever you want on the internet. I'm not a From Software employee.
Yeah, you can do whatever you want on the internet. Do whatever you want. I'm just going to whine about it.
But I have seen this, like, lots and lots and lots of tweets just like this. I'm getting Elden Ring, but all this hyperbolic language of it being the greatest game of all time is turning me off. Why must every game either be trash or a masterpiece? There's no middle ground.
First of all, taking Tony Polanco at face value is just a bad idea. It seems like 60% of the time this guy has no fucking clue what he's talking about. But that being said, yeah, he's right here. He's correct. It seems like a lot of times people can only fathom a game being amazing or shit. That being said, I haven't really seen a lot of people say Elden Ring is a bad game. I don't think I've seen a single person say it's a bad game. I've seen pretty much everyone say it's either an amazing game or an amazing game with bad performance or a good game that they didn't really get the hype about, but it's still good. Like, I legitimately don't think I've seen a single bad review of Elden Ring, other than obviously the thumbs down on Steam. And the thumbs down on Steam are more about the performance and the running of the game than the game itself. Which we saw, because even in the thumbs down reviews, people say the game is good. And that's why it's heartbreaking that the performance is so bad. Like, this is so not hard to grasp, and it is so frustrating that it's flying over your head.
Now, I'm showing this guy Tony right here, but honestly, I've seen this exact sentiment all over the internet, which is that everybody praising something, so they have to kind of hate it. In fact, I actually was going to put more tweets in this video of this sentiment because I have seen so many people say, this game looks, everybody's saying it's good, so I'm going to say it's bad.
And I figured out where all your dislikes came from. The dislikes came from right here, where you completely dismiss criticism of the performance of the game. Go fuck yourself.
But you know what? Gaming is a hobby. Do whatever you want to do with your hobby. If you want to be the hipster hater, that is your business.
If you want to be like, oh my god, you're taking people who had problems with the game's performance and you're saying they're hipster haters. You're saying they're hipster haters if they had problems with the performance of a game you liked. Legitimately go fuck yourself. This has such fucking bootlicker energy. Go fuck yourself. Oh my god, genuinely. Stop it.
But these have just been some off-the-cuff thoughts. Honestly, I'm still playing Elden Ring. I'm still loving Elden Ring.
Yeah, I'm glad you are. I'm glad you're enjoying Elden Ring. Once it's patched up, I'm sure I'll enjoy Elden Ring. But in the meantime, go fuck yourself. Part 3, Revenge of the Sith.
And it seems like a lot of you guys are as well. But it's interesting that this technical performance, especially on the PC, has been received so extremely poorly.
And I wonder why that's happening. Oh, the performance is being received so poorly. It's so surprising. I don't understand. Fuck you, A New Hope.
Thank you so much for watching, gamers. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a giant thumbs up.
And I'm going to stop right there because this is driving me insane. I've been recording for 39 minutes and 13 seconds. I have to piss. I have to take my dog to the vet because he's allergic to something and I don't know what the fuck it is, but pit bulls are allergic to absolutely everything, so I'm sure he's allergic to absolutely everything. If you have problems with Elden Ring's performance, you are completely justified. If you didn't have problems with Elden Ring's performance, you are completely justified. Not everyone's experience is the same. But enough people having the same bad experiences, yes, it is absolutely justified for the game to be getting the kind of criticism that it is. Toodles.